before we cut the lining out, so remember I cut the facing and I use the waistcoat as a template. Now I put 2 seams on here, like 2 centimeters, but this is usually I do for jackets because the jacket facings are a lot wider, and of course the jacket's a big jacket. Waistcoats, if I'm going to stitch it by machine, I'll just do 1 centimeter. So I'll just cut it 1 centimeter past. But I've done it 2 because the lining is going to actually, this is not going to be machine stitched, remember. So the lining will actually be folded over, and it will actually just be hand stitched in. So it doesn't really matter. I need a wider fabric anyway on the facing so it can hand stitch over. That's why I've done that 2 centimeters. But usually if you're going to machine it, you can just do 1 seam, 1 centimeter seam. Right, so I've got the lining here now. Always press your lining, please. People, a lot of sewers neglect to do this very vital, important thing we do here. So just press the lining nice, get all the creases out. Now, if you've got really very, I mean, it's good anyway to learn this way, but if you've got very expensive fabric, which we have in the couture world and bespoke world, some of our fabrics are hundreds of pounds a meter. So some people may use silk lining, which I think one of my new clients will be using silk. So I've got to be really very economical in the way I place my fabrics. Anyway, so what we'll do here, remember, this is your facing where the line is going to attach to the side. Okay, that's your front. So you place that, this is the edge, so that's the edge here. So that's where the line is going to be stitched to. So I want to place that near the edge of there, but remember you want to leave a good couple of seams. Okay, so just make sure you've got enough for a couple of seams there. So yeah, I've got enough for a couple of seams there. I'll bring that back a little bit there. So that's the facing, yeah. Place that down. Once you're happy, place now your waistcoat on top of the facing there, which we cut out. We used waistcoat as a template, remember? That's going to be edge to edge, okay? And make sure, remember, because there's you can use your facing as your template now. Make sure you got enough to cut out the seam past there. So that's the edge where the line is going to be attached. We'll place our waistcoat on top to the edge of the facing, and all we do, we just go round. So I leave an extra here, an extra 3/4 of an inch plus, and then I'll go down to the side here, and then I always leave a little extra here, so you can actually go right round there. I always leave a little extra there because I'm going to create a pleat. So I'm going to come a little bit more here to create a pleat, because I do about 1 inch pleat, so it's got to be longer, because by the time you draw in that pleat it will reduce that anyway. So I always make this a bit longer, but you see I'm using that as a template now, and all you do is take that away, and all we do now, we just see now we've got this is the edge of our facing. Can you see that now? So now we'll just chalk mark here the edge where that's going to be stitched to, and I'm going to now, we just leave 1 seam 1 centimeter. So usually I would leave 1 centimeter here, so I'll just draw 1 centimeter seam in, but I'm going to leave a little extra because I'm going to do it by hand. So I want a little extra because that's too narrow really, the 1 centimeter to fold over and stitch it by hand. So I'm going to just leave an extra centimeter on top of that. There you go. See, you've got it all now. Simple as that. So I'm just going to cut this out now. So I'm going to cut a little extra there. You can see here. So just come a little bit more there. And it doesn't really matter because I've got to hand stitch this in anyway. So it's always best to cut a little bit wider and bigger. Just make sure there, it's fine. It's got your basic shape of the lining that's going to be attached to the facing. Let's see how easy it is. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit more here. Go around the armhole. A little bit wider there. And there we go. There we have our, can you see that now? And now that will be attached. Just get where my facing is now. 1 second, yeah. So now that is going to be attached here. So the facing is going to be going on. Now usually what I would have done is I would have machine stitched that in what, see, that would have been machine stitched. A seam allowance and folded over, and that's impressed. And that's what we do. And then we place it onto the waistcoat. Okay, you can see all this has been cut out now. Now some tailors will actually hand fell this onto the facing. If you like at Savile, you're paying about £2,000 for a waistcoat, so of course they probably will hand fell this, hand stitching. But I've opted to actually machine stitch this on now. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to machine stitch on, and once that's all in, then this will be placed together, because you always put your lining to the facings first. Then this will be placed, and then I will baste this in. This will be folded over, basted it in, then I'll hand stitch it all down. So you'll see what I do as we go along completing this waistcoat. So I'll see you soon. Ciao.